and we've got head coach Pat Noonan ahead of Saturday's game in New England. Carter, you want to start us off?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How was the break, and were you able to get that reset you were looking for?
Yeah, I think the break came at a good time for the group. Obviously, enough time to plan it so guys could get away and see family, get out of town, reset, whatever it was, and I think we came back in a pretty good way. Trainings, how we've reviewed the last week, and what we think we need to do coming back to improve, for the second half of the season.
What were the findings of those kinds of conversations? Or I guess what did you prioritize looking into during that break to come back stronger?
Our intensity, I think, in certain moments, maybe we've gotten away from, with a focus on improving some ideas with the ball. Some of the areas that have made us strong in the past, and getting the intensity and defensive side of the ball more consistent. That we spoke of, obviously, the last week set pieces let us down defensively, and we conceded too many goals there. So, that was specific to the last week, but a lot of it was just about accountability and what the guys need to do to come in and add value to our group, after the break. So those are some things that we discussed.
A break at this time seems a little almost too convenient, given the timing of 17 games, it's the midway point of the season. What have you made of the first half of the season collectively, and what do you hope to take from that to move on?
Probably the similar messages that I've spoken about prior. We're in a good position as far as where we're at in the table, but we are looking for more consistency in our play. When our attack's been good, our defense has struggled. When both have been okay, the set pieces have let us down. So it's, if we want to be a better team, we got to do this all consistently. And so that's what I take away from the first half. We're still, searching for a few answers to see how we can be at our best. And we're what I said to the staff and to the players, we have to continue to push each other to get through tough moments, to have a desire to improve and not settle at any moment for, where the group's at. We have to be motivated to get better, and I see it, but we have to go and do it.
We're going to jump to the Zoom and Laurel really quickly.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm not there in person. I'm sure we'll get into New England, but I did want to ask about some individuals real quick. Teenage Davey, is he back, or what is his timeline, and what can you realistically expect from him in terms of availability this weekend?
He's back. He returned yesterday evening, and we'll have a recovery day, but he's available.
And then Yuya, I know he had been day-to-day for several weeks now. Is there any update on his progress? Is he still dealing with those leg injuries?
Still dealing with, the discomfort, in his lower leg. So he is likely out, but I think moving in a positive direction.
And then I also noticed Sergio has been out of. I didn't see him the last couple days. Is there anything you can update us on in terms of what?
Yeah, he had a couple extra days because he was dealing with some discomfort in his legs, similar to preseason, but he is available and back today.
And then one more, just because we haven't asked about Nick Haglund, like you had originally given kind of a vague estimate. Is there any clarity or more clarity on just kind of what his timeline getting back looks like?
No, same timeline. It was around the 6-week period from the date of the injury, and we're kind of on that target.
We'll go back to Carter here.
I will ask about New England this weekend. They haven't lost since you guys played them last. What have you seen from them over that stretch, and is that surprising at all that they've been on this run?
No, they have a talented group, and I think the only thing that's maybe been significant is, aside from the results, is structurally some of the things that were different from our first matchup. So, you're just waiting for a win or a set of good results, to kind of change the feel, and they've gotten that. And you can see they've taken off from there, and they're in a very good place, and performing well and getting results, because there were also, I think, moments within the the early struggles that were more towards the result than the performance. And so they've been consistent in getting better results, and I think their confidence is clearly improved, and getting some players back as well. I know Campagna might be a question mark there, but Chancalay and a couple of their other pieces that have come back into the mix that help them with just their depth and being deeper and more competitive. So yeah, they're in a good way.
It's hard to talk about New England without talking about Carlos Heel.
Mm-hmm.
What does he do for New England that makes him so effective?
A lot. He's one of the best players we have in this league. As far as attacking creativity, no matter how well you game plan against him, if you're not close enough to him, he's going to make the game, and he's going to make plays because he has the ability to create separation, and then he has the vision to see runs off the ball, see danger, and put opponents in really tough spots. And obviously he has the delivery. So whether it's run a play, set pieces, he's just so creative and as good as any as far as being in isolation or being with multiple defenders in and around him, and being able to get out of those moments that change the game or change what could be a transition moment going to into your attack to having to defend the box in a really difficult way. So just his feel for the game, how he moves, how he finds his teammates in the right spots, it's as good as we have.
So then how do you counter that? What would be the approach to trying to stop that?
Yeah, we're trying to come up with answers for that. So I won't get specific now, but he'll certainly be an important part of how we prepare to try to slow them down.
Last one from me. Stefan Sharilla and Amir Daly were both called into their national teams, along with Miles and Teenage, but they're more regular contributors to their national teams. For a player of Stefan's age, Amir as well, and their place in their development, how important are these kind of call-ups, and what can they learn from those situations, and having been on both sides of the coaching staffs?
Yeah, I say it all the time. It's good that you're recognized, by your national team, whatever team that is, to get opportunities to show yourself at the first team level or at the youth level. With Stefan, I think it comes at a good time too, because it's a chance to get into a new environment with new teammates and try to make an impact. And I know the minutes in those games, 45. I think it was 15 in one of the others, and I think I'm losing sight of the last one. But he got an opportunity to go and improve as far as the development and the experience. Those things are important at a young age, and you always hope that they come back in a more confident way than they left. But and for Amir as well to go and get these opportunities, it's important. And so it's good recognition for those two. It's good recognition always for the club when guys are being called into their national team. So I haven't seen Amir since his return, but it'll be always a good conversation. You want to know how these experiences are for them. What they take away from it with different environments, different styles, different teammates, to see how they're learning, how they're growing, what they take away from it. So, yeah.
We'll wrap up on the Zoom and Laurel.
Thank you. I actually have two questions to kind of follow up on that. Speaking of Stefan, what have you seen with him in your group, and how close is he to maybe getting more opportunities? Like, what do you need to see more from him for that to happen?
Yeah, I think Stefan in our group has, hit a stage where, there's been struggle, but good struggle because of the physical side and the speed of play and the speed of thought, where he's been with our group long enough that, we're challenging him to improve like everybody else. And, it's important at a young age that we find ways to push them, but also to keep them confident, even when the minutes aren't there and the struggle is there because of the physical nature or the speed of play. That's something that we work on and talk with Stefan a lot about, how he uses his body, how he moves off the line to create separation, how he moves with the play, anticipates play. Those are all things that I think are a work in progress for Stefan. And as far as the minutes, I think if we see improvements in those areas, the minutes improve.
And then with Miles away and then obviously Nick out, Matt Miazga's had a couple little injuries since his return and hasn't played a full 90 yet. I guess one would be, how close is he to being full go? And two, how does that impact your approach with the back line when he might not be able to go full 90s and then you've got those other guys out of that back line?
Matt's close. We've seen it in previous games. He had to come out of the last one because of the knock he took and the struggle that he was experiencing in that moment. But he's close, and if he has to come off the field, we've been in these situations before where we're limited at the center back position, and we'll put guys out there that we think can get the job done along the back line.